Welcome to Prompt 36, where I'm a dum-dum and forgot to press record when drawing today's ant. It's one half of a high five. So let's see what we've got today. A single page, sailboat. I want to make that interesting. So how? Here we go. As usual, when I create these prompt illustrations, my main priority is how I can make them more unique and more interesting than just drawing the object. I don't want to just draw a sailboat as is. I try to come up with some sort of idea to make it out of the ordinary or just more interesting visually to look at than practicing drawing a sailboat. Luckily, I came up with this idea right away where I drew 4 sailboats based off of the 4 elements: water, earth, sky, and fire. At first, I was going to make the sailboat maybe made out of these objects, or at least inspired by them. But 4 out of 3 of the sailboats that I drew were just regular sailboats in these elemental areas, so I thought I would just make them all normal sailboats and kind of focus on the background in creating I guess, as interesting as an environment that I could, so that you would really get swept away in each of these areas and feel like they are completely different. Of course, based off of each of these 4 elements. And then I got the crazy idea to edit all 4 of the videos to play at the same time. So good luck, mobile users, because each one is going to be very small. But don't worry, as I talk about each piece, I'll make it bigger so that you can see more of what I'm talking about. I just thought, why would you want to watch a video 4 times the length just to see each one big when you can see them all go at the same time and then focus on each one as I talk about it? So with each piece, I wanted to make sure they were all as different as possible. I have the cat at different sizes, the boat facing different ways, they're in different locations of the pieces. When I drew the first piece, which was the water one with the whale underneath the boat, I got the idea to put the whale in every single piece. When I did the sky piece, I made the whale floating through the sky as sort of a land whale, kind of like an island in the sky. When doing the fire piece, I made the whale as a tiny little fire whale watching him burn away. At first, I was going to put bones in the volcano, but I figured doing a cute little fire whale was more fun. And for the earth piece, I made the whale a rock-shaped whale. I meant a whale-shaped rock. When it came to the color, I really made that my focus. I wanted each piece to have its own color scheme, and the way I did this was not only making the skies at different points of time during the day, but I also played around with the way the light kind of plays with the color. Sure, the elements are what sets each of these pieces apart, but I think color is what makes each of these pieces its own and really makes them different from each other. If they were all midday with a bright blue sky, they'd all be pretty boring and kind of blend into each other, so I thought this was a good opportunity to really push myself to play around with color and basically push myself to do things that I'm not good at. And what better way to do that than in front of thousands of strangers who have no problem criticizing you on the internet? Go on, everybody. Do your worst. Speaking of worst, let's talk about the art. Starting with the earth-themed image, I wanted the main color to be green, obviously, and I wanted the light source to be white so that it didn't really affect the colors around it too much. The main way I do this is by looking at the cat's clothes. Depending on the light source color, I would change the red and the white of his shirt to be something like a blue and a purple that I used in the sky image because the light source in that was a blue color. Of course, you can't see that now because we're not in that point of the drawing, but you'll see what I mean later. When creating the water piece, I really wanted to give it a sense of openness. Because the ocean is associated with being large and open, I wanted to make sure that it just looked as oceany as possible. It's the most simple of all of the pieces, and I feel like it really works to its advantage. Because it's a simple piece, the focus is in the middle, and an ocean is supposed to give you the feeling of how large and scary it is because you can get lost out there. And of course, there are animals in the ocean that are much larger than you, but they can still be friendly. Though, moments later, that whale did eat the cat. Sorry, everybody. I kind of played around with the same idea on the air piece. Because clouds are so fluffy and nice and calming, you kind of associate them with sleep, I guess, maybe in children's media. So the cat is taking a nap in the boat. Everything in the foreground is fluffy and nice, whereas in the background there's the emptiness of space the complicated whale back there, and just the open mysterious in the background, and in the foreground, a peaceful, nice, fluffy bed. And of course, as I mentioned before, I really focused on this piece being very blue because it is nighttime and there is the moon somewhere making a white light on it, but for the most part, it is a dark and blue, soft looking piece. Until the giant whale did swoop in and eat the cat. Again, I am very sorry about that. And finally, for the last piece, the fire piece, I focused on it being red or purple. I think overall this is my favorite piece out of the four, and I think it's the most successful. It's very dark and it's very ominous. And then there's the bright yellow lava that just pops off the page, and you can just see how hot it is by the difference in the warm and cool colors. I'll be honest, it wasn't my intention at first, but after I started to play with the complementing yellow and purple colors and just how opposite they are with the warm and cool feelings of their tones, having that just pop off the page is so satisfying, and I absolutely love the way this one turned out. Also, the cat has a lot of emotion in this piece compared to the others. He's about to die, he's already on fire, but also, how the heck did he even end up in a volcano? It doesn't even make any sense, and I think part of that is why I even like this. Okay, here's my story. In the first piece, the cat stumbles upon this boat that has been penetrated by this tree. Mysterious, he goes ahead, chops down the tree, and takes the boat on an adventure. He goes to the ocean, meets a whale, and that whale shoots up water and he ends up floating in the clouds. Who knows why, but he chills. He takes a nap, and whoops, he falls through the clouds and into this volcano where he burns and dies. And guess what? Maybe he'll find the boat again. Maybe this cat has 7 lives now. Maybe in the first panel, it was actually he who died, and he couldn't remember how he died, and he found the boat, and the boat is bad luck, and I am rambling at this point. Let me know in the comments which piece is your favorite. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye!